It's your girl T here, back with the Tuesday vidya. I know you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day because we're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, it's always been me. It's always been us. We've always been chosen. We've always been loved. We've always been prioritized because we're tea timers. It's always been us. I am going to do what I originally said on Ttime Tuesday, which I have fallen off of a couple times here, but I will answer subscriber questions. I have 2 today to answer, and I saw a couple more, but I haven't had time to read them. But I read the first little bit, and I can already tell that it's going along the same trend as these 2 questions, so I will just do it generally for everybody. So the first question was, hey T, I'm doing what you said and living in the end, or ignoring 3D reality, but I know my SP has not unblocked me. You're not living in the end, and this isn't to diss you or make you feel embarrassed, but you're not living in the end if you know that your SP hasn't unblocked you. The reason you know your SP hasn't unblocked you is because you're still checking the 3D. You're probably checking one of their social media outlets and affirming and then looking to see if they unblocked you. They've already unblocked you energetically if you're living in the end. In your mind, they've already unblocked you. There wasn't a block to begin with because you're unblockable. So in your mind, you guys are already together. So you can't be together if there's a block. We are focused too much on the 3D. We're letting the 3D tell us how we show up, what's going on, what activities are happening for us, because we are letting the 3D tell us what to do. And we're letting the 3D control us, which puts us into the same general population as the rest of the world, where we think 3D controls what we do, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. And we think that when people say things, it's the finality. The 3D is malleable. So why are you letting a malleable piece of real estate control what your outcome is? If you look at the 3D like a piece of Play-Doh and you make the Play-Doh into a certain shape, you don't worry about if it's the wrong shape, because you can always take the Play-Doh and remold it into something else. That is your 3D. But instead of remolding the shape into something else, you're letting it be that triangle you made out of the Play-Doh is forever. You can't remold it ever again because that Play-Doh is forever. It's done, it's baked, it's cooked. That Play-Doh is forever. Of course not. The Play-Doh is remoldable. The 3D is changeable. So don't focus on whether or not they blocked you, because you call that shot. You decide if they've unblocked you up here, and it will push out here. The other question followed the same sort of topic, so to speak. It was saying, my SP said toxic things to me. They were the rudest they've ever been to me. I've never heard this from another person. Don't quote me verbatim, but they said something along the lines of get out of my life, or F you, or lose my number or something. My SP said lose my number when we talked the last time before the 2-year gap, when I remanifested him again. And it crushed me. I didn't even know about conscious manifesting, and it crushed me because I thought the 3D was real. I thought the 3D was forever. So I spent the 2 years following when he said lose my number thinking of all the circumstances of how he's going to be with someone else and get married. And guess what he did? And then when I learned about conscious manifesting, and I learned that these words coming out of their mouth are changeable, I focused on what I wanted as opposed to what I thought was going to go on. And then that person had no concept of even saying that, or that conversation that we had, because I erased it. I erased it because I decided that it doesn't belong in my reality. I ignored that conversation ever happened and focused on us being together and where we were headed. And that's what went on. You guys have so much power. Don't let your power go out to the 3D. Don't let the 3D be your boss. You're the boss of what comes out in the 3D, but you have to grasp that what you imagine creates. I think a lot of you are doing what I did before, and I was doubting whether or not we are powerful enough to change the 3D. So what I would do is I would affirm, and I would look at the 3D every single day and be like, it didn't change yet. It didn't change yet. But guess what? When I was saying it didn't change yet, that's an affirmation in itself. And that's a doubt in itself. And what you who you are and who you align with is what will show up in the 3D. So you can affirm all day, but if you are predominantly aligning with the person that's doubting manifestation, that doesn't know if your imagination creates, and who is constantly hot and cold in their belief that manifestation really works, that's what's going to show up in your 3D, is hot and cold back and forth manifestations, because you don't really believe that manifestation creates, and that you don't believe that your thoughts create, and you're not solid in the fact that you get what you want. If you guys don't know, or you're not sure yet if you have a hesitation with regards to how powerful you are, or if manifestation really works, test it out. Say, I told you guys, the mini manifestation list a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter to you, and just write it in a journal once and see when it pops up in your 3D reality. When you have no resistance towards something, it's going to come up quick. So let's say I'm going to see a red apple today, and just write it with no attachment to it, because you don't care if you see a red apple or not. See how quickly it shows up in your reality. Or if you're hyperventilating over something in a negative way, you're scared that something's going to come up negatively, and you have all your emotion thrown into it, see how quickly that thing shows up in your 3D. Your subconscious brain has no distinction between whether something is good or bad for you. So where your focus goes and your attention goes, that's what's going to grow. So if you're focusing negatively on a circumstance coming up, it will show up in your 3D reality. Your subconscious doesn't care where you're focusing. It's going to produce whatever you're predominantly focused on and what you're predominantly aligned to. So if you're aligned to someone who gets blocked by your SP, or someone who your SP never shows up for, or they show up hot and cold for, or somebody that your SP can talk any old way to, that's what's going to show up in your 3D reality. You can cleanse out your limited beliefs or your old beliefs by listening to subliminals. Dylan James has great ones. Kim Velez, Roxy Talks. There's so many people on YouTube that have subliminals that feed you all day with "you are loved, you are chosen, you've been safe in relationships, love's been easy for you." You can create your own subliminals. You can look up affirmations if you're stumped on what to write, or you can think to yourself, what do I feel when I feel like texting my SP? Do I feel nervous? Do I feel like they might not get back to me? That's an affirmation. My SP shows up consistently for me because I'm consistent with myself. I always get the response from my SP that I want. We have constant communication. We love and appreciate each other every single day. You can create a tape. You can record on your phone and record affirmations and play them throughout the day. You're listening to music or whatever anyways. You might as well be brainwashing yourself with good, positive feed. You guys are so powerful. I'm trying to tell you this over and over. You're so powerful, and just trust me, what you focus on will grow. So if you are focused on the lack of something, that is what will show up. If you are focused on how great life is and how you get what you want, that is going to show up. I challenge y'all, every time you want to check your SP if they blocked you or not, or every time you want to have those thoughts about, will they text me today? Will they call me today? Are they going to forget that conversation? Fill those blanks in with, I get everything I want. I'm a powerful manifester. Every time. When you have the urge to go do something that isn't going to be serving you, say, I'm a powerful manifester. I get everything I want, instead of doing that action. Do it for a week and come back in the comments and tell me how powerful and life-changing those affirmations are in place of what you usually do. The other questions that I had were along the same lines. I'm telling you right now, if you give up trusting in the 3D to show you what you want, and you live predominantly in your mind by affirming, scripting, journaling, inner conversation, your 3D is going to change. You won't need to check if you're blocked or not, because your SP will just be showing up. Replace your thoughts with the thoughts that you want, and you will get what you want. I am loved. I am chosen. Hear them say to you, I'm right here. Don't look out here for me. I'm right here. How's your day going? I love you. I love that I can be with you every single day. Katie from Create Your Future, she does full inner conversations with you, and you can have them to learn how to do them the right way to get what you want. If you guys need more tips and tricks on this, please comment below. I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed Tuesday. Bye.